What's going on, Pokemon trainers? Welcome to a special bonus episode of Gotta Watch 'Em All.
That's an extra one.
We're going to be talking about the Direct that happened 2 days ago.
Wait, there was a Nintendo Direct? And it was all about Pokemon Sword and Shield?
It was a Pokemon Direct. It was
so it was about Shield and Sword?
Shield, Shield and Sword.
Sword and Chili?
It's like same thing with Sun and Moon. It's like, how do you do the hashtag? Is it Sword and Shield? Is it Sword Shield? So confusing.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Sword?
Today's Friday, June 7th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Ken Pescator. That other voice is Adam Tuttle. Adam, how are you?
That is me.
I'm very excited to talk about this Direct, man. It was very exciting.
This was like, I was so pumped when I saw this.
Yeah,
they just know how to get you in the feels with all the music and just they set the right tone.
You know, I have that in the notes. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about was the theme song. But we'll get there. So we're just gonna get right to it. We're gonna do some our live commentary over this, and this isn't the reacts. We've seen this trailer, or the Direct a bunch of times. I've watched it so many times because I love it. So we're just gonna do some light commentary over the Direct, and then we'll kind of recap everything at the end. So I'm ready to start this puppy. If you are, you ready to do this?
I am ready.
So, of course, this starts with Ishihara, and. I love this guy so much more now because of the press conference that they did, the business side press conference when he kind of trolled the dude from Toho about the Godzilla comment. Like, I can't get over that when he was just like, thank you for bringing up something that has nothing to do with Pokemon. But, what are we? We're something like 20 seconds into the Direct and the trailer starts. So they get right to it. And, yeah, man.
And they're showing us new characters.
Look at the color palette's amazing. Like, it's so bright, it's super vibrant.
Yeah, my girlfriend said it looks a lot like Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Yes, we'll
and
get
I'm like,
there,
we asked for this.
We
asked for this.
Shots, yes.
When we got Breath of the Wild, I remember there being so many comments where all we need is Pokemon.
We get to see
and then that's all we need.
Stuff that
just
looks
put
super
Pokemon
familiar,
in that game, and we're good.
Trainer battles, interacting with them, seeing the exclamation point. Oh, dude, they don't mess around. They don't mess around with this video, which is really cool.
And then a brand new Pokemon right off the bat.
Like the music in this section, again, this is, it's playing on that epic scale and draw distance that they can pull off with the Switch because, they definitely could not have done this on the 3DS. So this is a game changer. And,
and then you're riding a bike on the water.
We'll recap all of that. We see the beacons. Look at that. That shot looked just like Breath of the Wild. Here we see 4 trainers gathering around a beacon and this absolutely gargantuan Gyarados that all 4 trainers look like they're about to battle. I was hyped at this moment because this is kind of that Pokemon Go raid connection, and we'll get there, but
yes,
I was hyped, man. This was so cool.
And then you have a giant Premier Ball. When I saw the Premier Ball, I was like, that's a raid.
See, are they going to call it a Premier Ball, you think? Or are they going to call it like a Dynamax Ball or something? Ahead of myself here, but it's... I don't know, man. I was hyped, but it's definitely... Alright, so we see the crowd here, and this is going to be a part that I'll reference towards the end here, but there's some pretty cool stuff that is very easy to miss in this section. But we see our trainer going up against a gym leader, both Dynamax Pokemon here, and you can see like the stadium has like this big open roof and it's kind of glowing and
giant attacks.
I love it. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. I think this is like a way cooler gimmick than Z-moves. Oh, and then we see our champion here. But we'll get there. So they give us everything. They give us this huge trailer, and then we see Masuda and Omori from Game Freak kind of chilling on the couch, and then they kind of pretty much walk us through the remaining, what do we got here? Remaining 12 something minutes or so of the Direct.
Yeah, and my son pointed out multiple times that he's like, that's a Pikachu behind him. I'm like, yeah, bud, that's a Pikachu.
All right, so
more screenshots.
Whenever they show the screenshots, you like they do the right thing, like these slow pans. these, you can see the draw distance, you can really see the scenery and the color palette, which is fantastic.
After choosing Grookey, Scorbunny, or
it's just so cool, man. Like, even like Let's Go had such a significantly different look than this.
Your journey will take you through vast and lush grasslands.
And we know that this is kind of London or Britain, however you want to call it, but they kind of have that connection of big open fields and then some urban areas. So I like that whole thing too, where even though you're in one region, you still get a difference of scenery.
Yeah, it just looks like there's going to be so much to do, so much to explore. It's going to have like replayability. Like, I don't know. I'm so excited for these games.
The hype level, I'm telling you, it was like, I watched A Drive's reaction video, and it was like, it's hilarious because he's like squeaking in excitement the whole time, and like that's literally how I felt. All right, so James Turner, this is he's a British designer, and we've actually interacted with him on Twitter before. He's very, very active on Twitter, always putting up cool little doodles and designs. He was the one who designed Pokemon like Vanillix and Chandelure, so he's got a really awesome style, and he's the art director on Sword and Shield.
The internet is on fire with Hulu.
The first Pokemon
it's absolutely the fan favorite, I think, from this trailer. It's the sheep Pokemon, so no hate on Marie, but I think he's got him beat.
Gossifleur.
Then we see Gossifleur. Gossifleur.
This Pokemon here
very cool looking, very colorful, and tiny. So the pollen has healing properties, so that's cool.
And Dreadnought. That reminds me of something from Skylanders.
It does remind me of a Skylander.
Is called Dreadnought.
See, I thought when he said bites of like chunks of rock, I was like, oh man, I thought he was gonna say chunks of Pokemon.
Yeah,
I mean, he uses the attack bite, so you can technically.
Its vicious nature makes it a difficult Pokemon to tame.
All right, again, another look almost looks like a Skylander, Corviknight. This thing in its bio, it's 7 feet 3 inches tall. This thing is bigger than Charizard.
Wow.
It puts its skills to
and you can see it here, like holding on to like a T-post on a taxi, and that's how you're going to be able to fast travel in the game from area to area once you've been there. So they kind of pull a card like from Rhyme City in Detective Pikachu, where the people and the Pokemon work together to kind of have jobs. And again, they're giving us an evolution right here, which is awesome.
Eldegoss. I mean,
Eldegoss, the white Afro Pokemon.
I hope it has another evolution, because this
is weird though. The seeds that are on the Afro, I know it's a cotton ball. The seeds that are on the cotton ball Afro, people and Pokemon eat them for nourishment and healing properties. That's a little weird. You're eating part of a Pokemon.
And those are seeds, so those are technically baby Gossifleur.
Oh, gross.
Gossifleur.
And then James says, there's going to be familiar Pokemon, and he shows like a Growlithe. So obviously in the Galar region, there's going to be familiar Pokemon there as well.
That inhabit the Galar region.
See again, the sweeping panning shots, the big vistas. They know what they're doing, man.
Meeting lots of Pokemon.
I love these guys, man. They have like absolutely no like Masuda is like so super animated and happy, and like and Omori's just like so
yeah, he's just
stoic looking.
We are talking about Pokemon.
All right, here's the wild area. Right now, we see Pokemon moving and walking freely in the wild. So this is reminiscent of Let's Go.
What the weather is like.
But this is a specific area where you're going to have a full 360 camera, which is amazing. But is this going to be the only area in the game where the Pokemon are in the overworld? Or will they be everywhere else? Because in what we've seen in the beginning of the trailer, they were walking in the tall grass, they saw the exclamation point, then you had the encounter. So I don't know if it's just going to be limited to the wild area where we see that. At least they have it. Like that shot of Tyranitar walking,
this phenomenon
amazing.
is called Dynamaxing. Dynamaxing opens
and then when they announce Dynamaxing, they're like, boom, it's a giant Pokemon. And I'm like, is this like Digivolving?
So right away, I thought Raids. Yeah, right? Well, they show it in the battle screen. They show next to the 4 moves a little Dynamax button. So very similar to the way Mega Evolution will work, where it's just available. There it is.
Let me tell you more about the new Dynamax.
So you see the little Dynamax button. Okay, little Easter egg there. We'll get back to that in a minute. But again, in the gym setting and in the wild area is where you're going to be able to trigger the Dynamaxing.
And now I know that they're in these special gyms, but like, wouldn't the crowd get affected by like the water splatter from a hydro pump?
That's like, it's magic, man.
I gotta use my 10-year-old mind. Sorry.
Exactly. Well, that's like, you know, saying like you're gonna use like Draco Meteor and like rain asteroids down. You know what I mean? Like the people are gonna be okay. And then here we get our glimpse of
4 totally
4-player
customized
co-op.
trainers.
You'll find more ways to play there.
Yes, we know customization's coming. They all look awesome. They look super cute. They got funky hats. Max Raid Battle. It's like, I love how Japanese this stuff sounds.
Wild Dynamax Pokemon.
Like wild area. Like that's just the name. Like that. Really, that's how it translates.
In Max Raid battles, the wild Dynamax Pokemon keeps its giant.
But we've got a giant Pokemon. It's very reminiscent of
Not only
Go.
that, it also has special powers that
And
make
what
it an extremely
he's explaining here
formidable
is
opponent. Only one
you're
of
going to be
these
able to
4
do
players
this
who have
with
teamed
local
up in a Max
wireless
Raid battle
and
will be able to
online as well.
Dynamax their Pokemon in this
So
battle. So
this is really
coordinating with your team
exciting.
will
This
be
can
crucial
be
in taking on these
kind of
powerful
like
wild
this,
Pokemon.
its own little meta. And then what we see here is
If you and
the
your
trainer
allies
actually
manage to
capturing the
emerge
Dynamax
victorious,
Pokemon
you'll get a
in one of
chance
these
to capture
giant
the
Premier
Pokemon
balls.
in a truly
So I don't know how that
dynamic
works
action.
with... Does everyone get it? Does just the person that catches it get it? Just the person that was decided? Because it said only one person in the party of 4 will be able to Dynamax their Pokemon. So is that the one that's selected to actually capture the Pokemon?
I would
in that-
imagine that all
in
4 of you
battle?
would be able to catch it.
Join forces and test their skills against a variety of Pokemon.
I don't know. They do it right, man. They
Max
get you
Raid
asking
battles
questions.
feature
Like they give you just enough
cooperative
information to get you
4-player
hyped,
gameplay
but
against a single Pokemon,
not
which is
enough
a first
information
for
where
the
you're
new
like, I don't
series
need to
of
see
Pokemon
anymore.
games.
It's awesome. They know what they're doing.
It's going to be a ton of fun to use your Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, so they definitely took a page at a go.
here
They
is
want you to
Masuda.
get together with friends, so...
in person and experience
Yes.
the
Well,
excitement
we got
together.
Masuda here
You
saying
can also connect
this
with
is,
other
you know, you can
players
connect
over the
online. You're
internet
going to need the
enjoy playing
Nintendo
with other
account, you know,
trainers
the
from all
Nintendo
around the
Online
globe.
account.
So I hope you'll
Then we
try
get
Max
new
Raid
And then we
characters.
get
and all
introduced
sorts of other
to
players.
our characters. Yes.
Next, I would like to
Look at
introduce
the
some of
cape.
the people you'll
I need the
encounter
cape.
on your adventure.
Leon.
So Leon
This
is
guy is the greatest trainer in the
very
Galar region,
fabulous
and also
looking.
the current
He's got a
Yeah, he's got
Charizard,
booty
which
shorts?
is kind of
Leon.
interesting.
And
In a
leggings.
region where Pokemon
Dude, he's
battles
got
are so
shorts,
widely
tights,
enjoyed,
a tight
his
shirt,
undefeated record in
wristbands,
official matches
a
is
flipped
all
up
the more
hat, a
incredible.
giant flowing cape.
His
Like, what's
popularity
up?
is only
It
enhanced
was like
by
you hit
his shining
randomize in the character
personality,
creation.
winning him the adoration
Nailed
of
it.
trainers across the region.
But he's got a
It's no
Charizard, which is
exaggeration
funky
to say that
because
he is
you
the
would
most
think that if he's the
prominent trainer
champion of a
in
new
all of
region, that
Galar.
he would have a Pokemon from the new region.
The champion
But he doesn't.
has a younger brother
And then your rival is
who also
Hop.
happens
And then we
to be
have
one of your
Hop.
rivals.
Yeah.
I can't wait
His
to
name
play
is
like
looks super
that
cute.
as a supporter.
Hop
Hop.
dreams to one day become champion, just like his elder brother.
All right.
And he
You
trains
see, they're on
vigorously
Rotom
every
phones.
day
We'll get to
towards
that in a
this
minute.
goal. His journey through the Galar
And we
region
finally
begins
meet
on
our
the same
professor.
day as yours.
So we have Professor
And
Magnolia.
notice how she
On your
like
journey,
dangles
she's
with her.
old and
She
wise.
plays with her
Great
little
deal of
earring.
support from these two characters.
But I like that they didn't make the
Professor
professor like a
Magnolia is the
strapping young
professor of
lad.
the
You know
Galar
what I
region
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
specializes
cool
in
that we have
researching
like
the
a
Dynamax
an older lady, and then we have her
Sonia
granddaughter
is her
Sonia,
granddaughter
which
and also
But they were
serves
both
as her
playing with their
assistant.
hair the same way.
Their
Well,
abundant
Sonia was
wisdom
playing with her
and
hair,
cute.
and
will surely come in
the
handy
grandmother was
throughout your
playing with her
adventure.
earring.
you know what let the shipping begin already with Sonia. The cosplay and the fan art is already rampant, which is great and
Next, I would like to
hard
talk
to
about the
look
Pokemon
at.
Yeah.
gyms in the Galar region. You and your rival will need to take on the Pokemon gyms throughout the region. in
all
order
right.
to
So we
achieve
see the
your
grass
goal of
trainer here. He
becoming
uses an
champion.
Eldegoss, and you know
These
they're
gym
kind of
stadiums
explaining
are
how the
constructed in very special
gym
locations that allow
the
for
gyms are
Pokemon
actually like they look like
guidance.
soccer stadiums with retractable roofs.
The gym leaders
to
also
allow
have
them to fit
extremely
this. Can you imagine a
powerful
Wailord?
Dynamax Pokemon
You
on
can't.
their teams.
You can't.
Dynamax
You will
Wailord.
need to counter them with some of your own.
You use Dynamax on a Wailord? you just instantly win because they can't do anything.
Dynamax Pokemon are explosive.
Alright, take note of that little boy we just saw cheering in the crowd, because we'll talk about him in a minute. But Milo's funky. When you look at him from the front, it looks
He's
like
got
he has no
fidget
nose.
spinners for his Pokeball holders.
He's got Pokeball fidget spinners. I didn't even think of that.
He like spins it, then grabs one.
Alright, he has a nose. They show his profile there, and he has a little cute button nose, but from the front you cannot see his nose, so he kind of looks like a weird Voldemort.
Look forward to facing
But
heated battles against
one more video.
One more video.
We've shown up.
You see, it's like Masuda's so animated.
But I have one more video I would like you to see.
Not actual game footage.
Please
Opens up
take
to a forest. Oop. We see legendaries.
This reminds me of like TCG commercials, the animation they used in TCG
Yeah,
commercials.
that's exactly what I was thinking. This probably is the TCG commercial. And then
I know, right?
the TCG commercial will show you the third thing that's flying above.
Yep. So, here's the introduction to our legendary doggos.
The sword one comes
I don't
crashing.
know if they're wolves or dogs. What do you think? You think they're wolves
They're
or
wolves.
dogs? What do you think? They're wolves. So, they look super strong. They look super fierce. One glows blue, one glows red, which is a nice little homage. But Omori kind of breaks down who they are. And Zacian
I'm Team
and
Zamazenta.
Zamazenta.
Are in fact legendary
You're a shield doggo?
Well, that's what I said. Shield and sword.
Zamazenta.
Everybody calls it sword and shield. I call it shield
Wow.
and sword, so I naturally went with shield.
Look forward to discovering for yourself.
So I did a
just
poll
what
on
role
Twitter
Zacian
for this, and it was
Zamazenta will
overwhelmingly
play in the
people
story.
choosing the sword doggo. And I saw some NPD data that was for pre-orders, and
Of course, what
Sword
we
has been
revealed today
pre-ordered
is just a
almost
small
2 to
part
1
of what
over
you will find in
Shield
Pokemon Sword and
already.
Pokemon
So
Shield.
Well, I mean, technically I pre-ordered both,
There are
so
many more Pokemon and interesting characters for you to discover in the Galar region.
yeah, I'm sure my son,
We're putting
who's
everything
hyped
we've
over
got here
the
at Game
trailer,
Freak
and
into
he
making Pokemon
went
Sword
into
and
through the
Pokemon
end game
Shield,
of Ultra
a
Sun and
game that
Moon.
everyone around the world
I know
will
he's
enjoy.
gonna want Sword, so
I know my son saw it and like just like slowly looked at me when he saw the Dynamaxing Pokemon, and he's like, "Those look like raids."
Thanks to all of our guests from Game Freak.
And here we go. We have our
Finally,
release date, November
I would
15th,
like to announce the
2019.
release date.
2
Pokemon
standalone
Sword and Pokemon Shield will
releases
be
and then a
available
double
on
pack,
November 15th, 2019.
I need the
which
more
has really cool
information.
packaging.
Simultaneous release. And starting today, you can pre-order a special double pack. Stay
Thank
tuned
you,
for more
Shihara.
information. I hope you will look
All right,
forward
so there we go,
to the new
16
Pokemon
minutes of Sword and
adventure in the
Shield.
Galar region.
All right, let's recap. Man. What are your
Let me clear my
what's
throat.
your hot take? I mean,
it's
was
fantastic. I can't wait for it, and I might have to take some time off of Pokemon Go.
oh my goodness, goodness gracious, could it be?
Well, like you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, it'll be winter time. I can't. You know what I mean?
I think I'm gonna try to get my hands on an Elgato so I can stream this, because my schedule is nuts. But I think if I try to do it from a content perspective, I probably will have an easier time playing it consistently. But I'm hyped, man. I'm in 100%. What's your so let's talk about the theme song. So it comes in, it's a vocal song. You hear lyrics. The song is awesome.
Yeah, it got me
I really
hyped.
like it.
It's just the right amount of
It had
like
kind of a
lyrics to music to height. Like I don't know. It's got the beat.
yeah. No, well, it was epic sounding. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. What's your hot take on Dynamaxing? So let's talk about the
I
gimmick
like
here.
it.
So
And like thinking about how they're gonna put it into the TCG, which is hilarious because I went to my league to like kind of trade some cards. Didn't get much trading done, but I was able to like kind of like discuss the Dynamaxing thing. And somebody's like, well, the Dynamaxing is just going to be one giant TCG card. And if they knock it out, they'll take 6 prizes. And honestly,
No, I
feel it's going to be something where you can play a Dynamax Pokemon, but it only stays in play for 3 turns. And if it gets knocked out during those 3 turns that it's out, you win the game. That's just something that I think, because it'll make for explosive plays and games to end pretty quickly.
Well, maybe maybe they'll do it like a standard GX, where you're going to have a GX move, you'll have a GX token, but then you'll also have some kind of Dynamax token that you can use once per battle, or something.
Yeah, I
like
guess
that.
they could replace the GX move with the Dynamaxing.
No, but maybe, yeah, okay. So maybe
That's
they
the
actually
cheap
remove
way.
GX.
That's the cheap way.
But then it's they could still have it be a 2-prize thing, or I don't know. Maybe they limit it like Prism Stars, and they say, okay, you can only bring one of each kind up to 4 in your deck. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to be something where you defeat this Pokemon and the game is over. Or
I don't know, with the way they're going with
that would
like
be a
tag
little
team
cuckoo.
and like GXs and like you knock it out, you take 3 prizes. I think they're going somewhere in that direction. But that's just my hot take on the card game for when Shield and Sword comes out.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting though to see what they do with that in the TCG though. So I'm
super stoked on Dynamaxing because it's bringing the whole raid together aspect and forcing you to get with people in order to take down these bigger Pokemon. And some Pokemon you're probably only going to be able to fight in their Dynamax form.
Well, that's what they were saying, that some of the only way you're going to be able to capture these Pokemon in Sword and Shield is in the wild area through Dynamaxing. So that's pretty cool. It might be a little bit of a forced hand. I've seen some of the competitive scene people like, please don't make us have to use Dynamax in competitive. Like they're kind of a little, resistant to it. I'm always open to change, and again, but I also don't have like a super affinity or connection to the traditional style of, the VGC or anything like that. But I think as far as gimmicks go, it's definitely way cooler than Z moves, because when you Dynamax a Pokemon, they're still getting different powered moves, like special moves.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be something similar to a Z move, where like if you had a Pokemon that is holding a Z Crystal, the electric move that he had will, be a different move, an electric version of a Z move. Maybe that, when you Dynamax a Pokemon, its moves change to a certain preset of moves of that type in Dynamax form. Again, they give you just enough information to kind of get you hyped, but not enough information where you say, "Hey, I don't need to watch the next trailer."
And I like what they did, because this makes people that are solely Pokemon Go players, they can relate to something in the Pokemon game, because they're used to raiding, they're used to getting together with friends. So their friends might have Nintendo Switches and the game, and they have a Switch, and they're like, wow, I might just pick up Pokemon to go and do this with you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential here, and I think that this is a nice gateway from how they introduced Go players to Let's Go and to the Switch probably, and now they're just taking it to the next level and saying, hey, this is a full series game, this is the real deal, but here's something that you can at least connect with and have some kind of relevance to and connection to, because it seems familiar. So I think they nailed it.
They nailed it.
All right, a couple Easter eggs I wanted to talk about here. So obviously, people go over the trailer and the whole direct at large with a fine-tooth comb. IGN put together a really nice recap video, and I wanted to cover some of the stuff that they pointed out, because I missed just about all of this the first time I went through it. But we actually were teased of the Dynamax Pokemon in the first trailer that we got for Sword and Shield. When they're panning through one of the vistas, you see a giant hillside with kind of like the grass kind of cut out, showing a huge figure of a Pokemon and little people next to it. So that was kind of like a tease of Dynamax Pokemon, because you saw it right there on the hillside, just carved into the grass, which was really cool. Now, something that's not so cool is when they were showing the raid portion of how Dynamaxing worked with the button of Dynamax, they show Scorbunny. One of the moves that Scorbunny can learn is Double Kick in that screen. Do you think we're going to have yet again a fourth fire starter that its final evolution ends up being firefighting? Like, are they going to do that again? Like, it has a fighting move.
I mean, they can.
I don't want that. Why don't they do, like, something different? Give me Fighting Dark or something crazy. I don't know. I don't know. But
well, that is fire. We had Incineroar.
Oh yeah, we
Fire
had
Dark.
Incineroar. Give me something different. Not fighting.
Give me Fire Water.
And Incineroar was like, should have been fighting. They duped us on that. His Z move is in a wrestling ring. What's dark about that? That's a fighting move. All right, and then we had Rotom. Now, Rotom is coming back. This was something that I was a little hesitant to kind of connect with in Sun and Moon, but I think the way they're doing it now is they're making it a little bit more practical, and it looks like it's coming back in the form of a phone, and the phone will be the Pokedex form. So they show the two trainers on a train kind of, talking to each other, pressing buttons and stuff on their phones with a little Rotom kind of antenna squiggly coming off the top of it. So that's probably going to be the most common form that we'll see. But in the gym battle sequence, we see the camera panning around, and there's a little Rotom icon in the side of it. So
it's like a little drone form.
Yep. So maybe a camera form or a drone form, something like that, where you can get this nice, cool third-person view. The Rotom kind of will change into that form. That was cool. And then we saw the trainer riding a bicycle, and then ultimately that bike on the water, and that had a little Rotom icon. Yeah, you got to watch it back. That's Rotom. So maybe it's Rotom bike. So I don't know, but that's definitely, to me,
that's so crazy.
It screams Rotom. So we got the phone, we got the camera, maybe a bike. I don't know, but Rotom's definitely coming back in force. Okay, a couple weeks ago, there was a leak. I hate that it was on 4chan, but there was a leak on 4chan that pretty much talked about Dynamaxing and talked about a bunch of stuff that came true in the Direct. One of the things that they mentioned was a chipmunk Pokemon, right? So if you watch the trailer back, in the crowd when they show the battle with Milo and the trainer, there's a little boy jumping up and down, and on his shirt is a chipmunk Pokemon. And then in another scene where they're panning through the audience, you see a chipmunk Pokemon cheering. So we actually got a glimpse at an additional Pokemon that was not talked about, which I thought was really cool.
That is really cool. And honestly, when I listened to when we were listening to it, like going through it, when your trainer is shaking the tree.
Yes.
I want to say I definitely heard like a call.
Well, that's interesting because in that 4chan leak, they said that you can capture the chipmunk Pokemon. It can fall on you when you shake a tree for berries. So there you go. Let's see what else we got here. This was a really cool one that it flew over my head, and the only reason I know about this is from that IGN recap video. So when we first had the first trailer, right? When we saw the trainer walking into the stadium, he was wearing a jersey, and on the back of his jersey it had number 227. That trailer debuted February 27th. So now the trainer that's walking into the big Coliseum has got 831 on his back. Could we see another trailer coming August 31st? Because there's also another pan where they're doing Dynamaxing where a trainer has 65 on his jersey. This Direct was on June 5th. So I think this theme is pretty consistent and nailed down because I mark my words.
That's very interesting.
We're going to get another trailer on August 31st. I have a feeling that they're going to continue that theme. And I love that they kind of just stuck that in there. And, we got 227, the trailer on February 27th. We got 65. We got the Direct on 6/5. 831. It's got to mean something. It's got to come. Very, very cool.
Wow.
All right, let's jump over to talking about the wild area because this is probably one of the coolest areas in the game because the Pokemon are walking around in the overworld, and you have a 360 camera. Now, in Pokemon, having a 360 camera is fantastic. We've never really had that before. In Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, we can kind of move the camera, but it wasn't as free-flowing as this looks, almost like a Breath of the Wild style. And we see specific Pokemon walking around. Now, in Let's Go, at any given moment, there could be 4, 5, 6 Pokemon kind of bouncing around in the overworld. Didn't look like this in the wild area. You saw 1, maybe 2 Pokemon on screen at a time. And granted, you have these huge, wide vistas, these huge, wide fields, but there definitely was Pokemon in the overworld. So I'm not so sure.
Yeah, you saw like Golurk, you saw Gyarados, Rhydon walking through a sandstorm.
Yep. Like, oh, and the weather in the wild area will be dynamic. They said that it's going to change every day, and depending on what the weather is, that's going to determine what Pokemon will spawn in the wild area, which is cool. But I just don't know if overworld Pokemon will be in the entire game or just in the wild area. So that's something that we'll definitely have to see. But in the wild areas where you see the beacons, that's going to lead to the raid battles. I'm so hyped on that. So hyped on that. Let's talk about the NPCs. What do you think of Leon and his ridiculous outfit?
I think it's fantastic.
It's fabulous.
I like his
He's awesome.
Ridiculous approach.
His ridiculous beard. He has like a ridiculously manscaped beard. And the cape. I love the cape. Give me the cape. But the randomized outfit is a little over the top. But
yeah, I mean that's exactly what he's wearing. But I don't know. I think it's interesting.
You think the Charizard is a setup? Like, do you think he actually has another main Pokemon and they just threw Charizard in there to...
I'm sure of it. Because they'll probably be like, oh, it's something exactly like Charizard. But not Charizard.
Just weird.
They just want to be able to Dynamax it and have you face a Dynamax Charizard.
Oh, heck yes.
That I think is the only reason.
Yes, give me. What if you bring a... I wonder if like you're going to be able to Mega Evolve. Oh man, so many questions. Oh, and then we have Hop, Leon's younger brother. This is cool. Definitely following the traditional trope. His journey starts on the first day of your journey, so it's definitely a parallel, journey between you, the trainer, and Hop, which is cool. We meet Professor Magnolia. She's old. Looks really cool. And then we have Sonia. And Sonia's beautiful. She's Magnolia's granddaughter. And the cosplay is legit that I've seen already. The fan art is absolutely insane already. And pretty much everyone has fallen in love, including me. She's beautiful. I like me some Sonia.
Yes.
And what did you think of... All right, let's talk about the gym system. I mean, the gyms are back, so we don't have trials, like in Sun and Moon. We've got traditional gyms, but it's not like you're walking into a building. You're walking into a stadium. So I don't know if there's going to be more to it, but what do you think of the fact that this is like a giant arena battle when you have, going into battle of the gym? There's got to be more to it, right? There's got to be some kind of lead up to that. I'd imagine you don't just walk in and you're thrown right into like this giant Dynamax battle.
Yeah, right? I can imagine that the doors open.
Yeah,
and then the crowd starts cheering. Like,
yeah, it's like 10,000 people.
You must have to go in, and they like request a ticket, and you come back at a certain time.
Something,
or you come back in 10 minutes, and say, "Oh yeah, the crowd has to just, we have to let people know that you want to challenge the gym leader."
Yeah. And Milo looks funky. The whole nose thing is kind of weird. His design is definitely weird. But he uses an Eldegoss, which is cool. And I think Eldegoss is a middle evolution. I'm thinking that's a middle evolution from Gossifleur. Like, I think that there's going to be something beyond that. But I didn't even think of the fidget spinner Pokeball holders that he has, like,
right?
on each
Those
side.
Are so cool.
Funny. I would love to see, like, rapid fire, like, like whipping the balls off. That'd be awesome. All right, and then finally...
Well, yeah, because he, like, spins it and grabs one.
Yeah. And then finally, we have our legendaries, and the trope of the doggo with the sword in their mouth has been used before, in a bunch of Japanese stuff in the past. So it's not the first time we've seen that. The big question online is the sword actually part of the Pokemon? Is it made of organic material? Like, is it part of the Pokemon? It looks the same. It's the same color palette. It's the same. Looks like it's the same material. So was this legendary?
Well, the shield is the same. Is part of the shield doggo.
Yeah, but if the shield doggo isn't holding anything, it's all part of it. The sword can be dropped. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of. I've got questions. Here, but I like the fact that
he howls to the moon and like swallows it, and then and then that's how he becomes his like armored form.
That's where he sheathes it. He swallows it like a circus
he's like one of those magicians. The sword swallowers.
Yeah, no, but I like that the sword doggo glows blue and the shield doggo glows red. I thought that was pretty neat. And
listen, what do you think? The thing that they're like scared of, because they team up, they like attack each other, and then they're like, "Whoa, we should put our differences aside."
Yeah, well, you kind of see like
because
the leaves
coming.
kind of whip up in the air, so there's definitely something flying above them. And maybe on August 31st we'll get a little bit of more of a hint. But overall, man,
see so it's going to be something flying.
The hype level is real. It's got to be something flying. It's definitely above them. Because they come in, they charge at each other, they kind of clash, and then they kind of turn their backs to each other and kind of look like they're preparing for something. Where they're
what color do you think it's going to be? You have an all black bird, Corviknight, so it wouldn't be all black. So what color do you think it'll be?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. I have no idea what this could possibly be. Like, I hope it's not a bird.
I'm going to say green.
But you think it's a bird, though? Like, it doesn't have to be a bird if it just.
They love legendary birds.
I know. That's why I don't want one.
And they love legendary dogs.
Yeah.
How many legendary dogs do we have?
And what I thought was funny too was Zamazenta, the shield doggo. It's like got this giant shield and its face is exposed, so it's like the shield doesn't even like block its face. There's a absolutely hilarious meme going around.
Oh, where somebody puts Lysander's face against it?
God, it's the best. It is the best. It fits the shape of the shield so perfectly. So awesome. All right, Adam. Well, let's wrap this thing up. I hope everyone's as gassed as we are, because this is really, really exciting. I'm very, very pumped to play this game. I'm really excited to learn more and kind of speculate over the next couple months. And I bet you we'll be able to do this again, our next bonus episode come August 31st, because I think that's when we're going to get something else and some more, finally some more details on this. But
we'll get the details.
Yes, but thank you everyone for checking us out. Please check out GottaWatchEmAll.com for everything that we're doing. You can email us info@GottaWatchEmAll.com. Please leave us a review on iTunes. We would greatly appreciate that. And until next time, everyone, keep training trainers. See you later.
Later.